Hello my beautiful friends. So this evening I wanted to sit down and film a haul video for you guys. I haven't very recently done a haul video. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I have done book videos in the past and I've done haul videos in the past, but as of recently when I've kind of been re-entering the YouTube space and the booktube space, I haven't done any haul videos. So I'm going to be bringing you one today, and before I start that out, I did want to talk a little bit about the whole booktube consumerism situation. So if you guys would like to see more of this video, hear me talk a little bit about that and my thoughts, and if you would like to see some of the books that I've picked up recently, then just keep on watching. So to discuss the topic of booktube and consumerism, I'm not going to talk too much about the subject. I just kind of wanted to expand upon it after further, thinking about it and processing different things and just kind of reading more over time. I did talk a little bit about the subject in one of my earlier booktube videos that I made summertime last year. The reason why I really want to prioritize being mindful of buying books myself personally is because of the way that I have very much been absorbed in the world of consumerism, not only with just booktube, but in many things in general. The years have gone by and I've learned what type of person I am. I've been the type of person who's had a ton of books and just bought pretty much every single book that I've ever read, and just kept it for the sake of keeping it, whether I liked it or not, because I thought that was just what you were supposed to do. And I thought that if I was going to make a booktube channel, I thought that if I was going to share about books that I read, that was something that I needed to do. It was basically just a narrative that I created in my head in order to create a barrier for me focusing on doing what exactly it was that I wanted to do. And so pushing past that is what really got me into where I am now, which is consistently making book videos again and reading a ton of books, and it's just kind of a game changer for me. I wouldn't say that I was a collector of books because that's a very different thing to me. They are very mindful and conscientious of the books that they're bringing in and what they're purchasing and what they are putting their money toward. And so being that time has changed a lot, I went through a huge, I don't even know if you would call it a reading slump. I read maybe one book in the 4 years almost 5 years that my child has been alive. A lot of it was just because, I had this thought process of the books that I should be reading, and all of the stuff was just really preventing me from reading the things that I wanted to be reading and the things that were going to make me happy. And then also the fact that finances were not the same as they were before I had my child as they are now. And so I just needed to learn how to pivot and learn how to change my thought process in order to be able to make things work in the best way possible for me personally. And I do this throughout my life with many different things in my life. You try out different things, it doesn't work, and then you just move on to the next one and find what works best for you, because everything doesn't work for everyone. All this being said, when it comes to purchasing books, my thought process has not really changed, to be perfectly honest. The only thing that's really changed from when I talked about it previously is that I have more consistent income right now. So I actually have more means to be able to purchase more books, so that is why I have purchased books. But my thought process behind the way that I'm going about purchasing books is still the same. I have never been against buying books at all in general, and I did state that in that video. It's not that I don't want to buy books at all. I enjoy having books. I enjoy having a library. It makes me happy. I love that my child gets to be able to see me collecting books that I love and that make me happy. And then as my child grows up, I can share those books with them as well, and then I can also share those books with other people as well too. So it's really just about being mindful and conscious of the quality of the books that I'm getting, just thinking a lot before I buy things. And I think this is just something that happens as you grow older, as I have grown older. I've spent a lot of money on a lot of cheap books, and I've gotten rid of a lot of them because either I haven't read them or I don't know. So I am approaching it like I want to be surrounded by things that I love. I want to be surrounded by things that bring me joy. And so the books that I am purchasing now are books that I've either read and absolutely loved and I want to have in my library to be able to, like I said, share with, everyone around me, or there are books that are classics or books that I want to be able to have in my collection because I know that they are going to be those types of books for me in my life. And if they do end up being a book that doesn't really work out for me, I'll just move on. But for the majority of the literature that I do continue to consume, it is going to be through my library because I've just loved the library for as long as I can remember, and it has been an absolute lifesaver during this whole time going on, just being able to buy ebooks and stuff, and I've read so many more books than I think I ever would have been able to. So that's kind of all that I wanted to say as far as the whole booktube consumerism situation. Just kind of wanted to, expound upon that a little bit more. But yes, I do want to share with you guys this haul. So we will just go ahead and get into that. The first book I actually got a couple months ago and I started it, but I didn't end up finishing it, and it's probably going to take me some time to finish it because it is a thick one. So this is The Warmth of Other Suns, the epic story of America's Great Migration by Isabel Wilkerson. So the booktuber that I was watching explained it in a way that it was kind of like a nonfiction book that read like a novel. And that just made me really happy to hear about because I think that's a lot less daunting to me and overwhelming to me, especially a book of this size. And like I said, I did start reading this a couple months ago. I just kind of got distracted by other things that I'm reading, but it is my goal to read a little bit of this at a time and, just not like pressure myself to read any certain amount of this because I want to make sure that I am absorbing it and I want to make sure that I'm like in a good place to read about it, I guess. But this is focusing on the epic story of America's Great Migration, and this is focusing on, I believe, the migration of Black people in America migrating from the South to the North. The author, Isabel Wilkerson, chronicles one of the great untold stories of American history, the decades-long migration of Black citizens who fled the South from northern and western cities in search of a better life. From 1915 to 1970, this exodus of almost 6 million people changed the face of America. She interviewed more than 1,000 individuals and gained access to new data and official records to write this definitive and vividly dramatic account of how these American journeys unfolded, altering our cities, our country, and ourselves. Wow. So if that doesn't sum it up, I'm not sure what does. But this, I believe, is going to be super just beneficial and honestly transformative to the way that I view this country. That's a lot of what I want to focus on this year when I'm reading books, is things that are going to educate me a lot on the world around me, because it's something that I think is really important. So I'm excited to get to this one. The next book, I've talked about this in a couple of videos. This is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. So this is a book that I believe draws inspiration from West African folk tales. I actually have this on my TBR for this month, Black History Month, February, for the Blackathon Readathon, and so I'm really excited to get to it. Like, this cover is so fucking beautiful, and I just like to pull it out sometimes just to look at it because it just makes me so happy inside. I don't know too much about this plot, to be perfectly honest. I know that there is a brother named Malik and a sister named Nadia. I believe the sister is abducted by some bad people, and the brother has to go on a quest to save her, or has to make some kind of like negotiation with the princess or something. I don't know exactly what happens, but I've heard so many people talking about this book and how amazing it is, and I'm just really excited to go on a fantasy ride with these characters. Books like these are really soothing and nourishing to my inner child. This kind of like fantasy type of story with YA people of color characters was not something that I had a lot of access to, or any access to, when I was growing up. So reading this now is very, like I said, nourishing to my inner child, and just makes me so happy inside, and I'm so excited to be able to share this with my brown children in the future. The next books I'm going to talk about are specifically from Thriftbooks.com. This is a website that I I have a love-hate relationship with. They're very hit and miss with their quality of books. So the way that Thriftbooks works is that there are different kind of like tiers to the quality of the books that you can get. So you can get good quality books, you can get very good quality, like new, and so on and so forth. So what I try to do is get very good to like new quality books, and I found recently that it's still been very hit or miss when it comes to the quality of books and also the editions of books. So I'm still debating whether I want to continue purchasing from thriftbooks.com because their prices are like so great. These are all the books that I got from thriftbooks.com. Like I said, they're very inexpensive. So to start out, I do have 3 Shakespeare books. I've been wanting to read Shakespeare for a while, and it's on my list of goals to at least start this year. So I actually got these sometime during the summertime last year. I've just been intimidated and not wanted to tackle it yet, but I did get these 3 copies. I have Romeo and Juliet, The Taming of the Shrew, A Midsummer's Night Dream. So these are the Folger Shakespeare Library editions, and the specific reason why I got this is because I can't remember exactly who I was watching, but I was watching beginner Shakespeare videos, and they recommended to get these editions because they would just be easier to understand. They do have like little descriptions on like what words mean and stuff like that. It's very extensive. That's the word that I'm trying to think of. I am tired because it's like almost 10 o'clock at night and I just finished working, and I filmed this video earlier and it didn't work out, so my brain isn't working as well. They're pretty good quality. They are, like, all of them are annotated, and this beauty has someone's name on it as well. So it's fine. It's not anything too crazy. I'll still use them, and I'm still going to probably in the future purchase some other ones just so I can have, you know, some cuter copies if I do end up liking. And then again, I shared these in other videos, but these are the Lord of the Rings trilogy and then also The Hobbit. I think I said this in another video, but I got some random ass editions. The ones that I was looking for were the ones that look like this, and were just different colors. This one's actually probably the best quality one that I ended up getting. This is Return of the King. And then I have some just like random editions. This one's The Two Towers. I believe that's supposed to be Legolas, which is just hilarious. The insides of these 2 or 3 actually are actually really good. It's just the outside that's a little bit jarring. And then this one's The Fellowship of the Ring. This one isn't as bad, but you know, it could be better. And then I also have The Hobbit, which I actually talked about in my January wrap-up. I did read this book. I am watching the movies after I read the book, so I'm currently in the middle of the second Hobbit movie, which I always thought was kind of cringy, but I'm actually really enjoying it right now, just kind of taking it for what it is. And it's making me happy inside. This book just brought me a lot of joy. This one's actually the worst quality of all of the Lord of the Rings or J.R.R. Tolkien books that I got. I don't know if you can see that, but the edges are just kind of dirty and gross looking. So I did end up reading this on my ebook, and I'll probably end up getting, like I said, just like a matching set. This one was not the greatest. This is Speak No Evil by Uzodinma Iweala. I'm probably pronouncing that terribly. The inside is great. It's totally fine. But as you can see, I did take the dust jacket off because the dust jacket had a sticky substance on it, and I'm not down with that. So I was like, let's just remove that. I like the yellow. It's fine. From what I can remember about this book, it is about a boy and a girl. It's mainly focusing on the boy, I believe, and he is navigating through just like his adolescence and coming to terms with his sexuality. He's very smart and like wants to go to a really good college and stuff like that, and he's just kind of like coming to terms with his sexuality and how that affects, I guess, the people around him and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure everything that's in it, but I did hear someone talking about this and this author specifically, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up, so I'm excited to read this. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, this one was like perfect quality. This was probably the best quality book that I got from Thriftbooks in a very long time. This is Pride. This is a Pride and Prejudice remix by E.B. Zavoy. Look at this. Are you looking at this? Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Let me show you something amazing. Can you see this? Like, what? So I'm very excited to read this. I really love Pride and Prejudice. It's one of my favorite stories, just kind of like in general. I can't remember if I've actually read Pride and Prejudice, but I've seen the movie so many times because I'm fucking obsessed with Keira Knightley, and I've seen every movie that she's in pretty much. And the Mr. Darcy hand scene, just can't, you know, just can't. So this is a remix version with obviously Black characters. This is about Zuri Benitez, has Pride. She lives in Brooklyn, New York, and she has Pride for Afro-Latina roots and her family. Her neighborhood is rapidly gentrifying, and the wealthy Darcy family moves in across the street, and she wants nothing to do with the teenage sons. But of course her older sister starts falling in love with one of them. Zuri and Darius don't like each other. We all know the story of Pride and Prejudice, and if you don't, you should probably get on it, but I'm so fucking excited to read this. So the last books are the books that I'm really excited about because they are of amazing quality, and I had been looking on YouTube of videos of people buying like secondhand books and the best places to get inexpensive secondhand books, and the thing that I kept hearing about was Depop. I don't know why I didn't think about it previously because I have purchased clothing from Depop, and I know that, you know, people sell, they kind of use it like Etsy, so they sell like personal creations and stuff like that, but I didn't think about books for some reason. So now Depop is not the greatest thing to have access to, but it's also kind of the best thing that I am aware and now have access to. So I got quite a few books. I literally had to tell my partner, I was like, I need to stop, but I can't. All of these books were the editions that I wanted. They were really inexpensive, and they were just, all of them are great quality. So let's just get into them. These are actually the editions that I really wanted. These are the Barnes & Noble classic editions of these books. This is the Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. I have loved the Phantom of the Opera for I don't even know how long. I have grown up in a musical family, and so musicals have been just something that I have grown up with, and Phantom of the Opera has been one of my favorites for the longest amount of time, and I have memorized every song, and I've seen the movie way too many times. Christine is fucking beautiful, and it's like as I get older, I realize how like fucked up a lot of it is, but I also really enjoy it. So I'm excited to read the novel version and see if it differs from the movie and the play at all. And I'll probably be listening to the soundtrack while I'm reading this because I'm extra. The other book that I got that's Barnes & Noble Classics Edition is Anna Karenina. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. If you have heard me talk about this in any other videos, you know that I'm terrified to read this. But I'm also really excited to read it because I've heard so many people say really good things about it. Again, I really love this movie. Isn't Keira Knightley also Anna Karenina? What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm obsessed with her. Vladimir Nabokov, who wrote Lolita, which I also have, called Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina one of the greatest love stories in world literature. So obviously I have to read it. And last year I read Anna K, which was a like modern retelling, YA retelling of Anna Karenina, and it really made me want to read it even more. So yeah, I'm gonna be tackling this baby this year. This year, we're going hard. So the next two books, again, were editions that I was really excited to find, and all of these sellers were amazing. The shipping was super quick, and it was just great. Super awesome experience. So these are both by the same author, by Toni Morrison. I have not yet gone into the world of Toni Morrison as of yet, but I am very excited to. So right here I have Beloved by Toni Morrison. I don't really know what this is about, but I have heard really good things about it. I believe this is a movie as well. So I'll definitely watch the movie after I read this. And then the book that I'm going to be reading this month, that is on my TBR for February, Black History Month. This is the author's first novel, and I'm really excited to read it because, again, I've heard so many really good things about it. I feel like I'm saving the best for last. This is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler, and for some reason I already feel like Octavia E. Butler is going to be one of my favorite authors. I haven't read any books by them, but I am just so excited. Science fiction with people of color? Yes, please, sign me up. Thank you, Lord Sweet Baby Jesus, for this creation. I also have this on my list for my TBR for this month, and I'm so fucking excited to read it. So let me just read the back of it to you real quick. This is about Dana. A modern Black woman is celebrating her 26th birthday with her new husband when she is snatched abruptly from her home in California and transported to the antebellum South. What? Rufus, the white son of a plantation owner, is drowning, and Dana has been summoned to save him. Dana is drawn back repeatedly through time to the slave quarters, and each time the stay grows longer, more arduous, more dangerous, until it is uncertain whether or not Dana's life will end, long before it has a chance to begin. Holy shit. That sounds really fucking good. I am so excited to read this. Like, I can't even describe to you how excited I am. I'm probably gonna read this next after the book that I'm reading currently. I feel like I'm gonna relate to this character on so many levels. I am also a modern Black woman. I'm also a 26-year-old. I used to live in California. I can't travel in time, but you know, gotta draw some parallels somehow. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm tired. But I'm so excited to read this. Like, how many more times can I say that I'm excited? I'm excited. This one does have a few annotations in it, but they're actually kind of cute. They're actually kind of cute in here. And they are also in pencil, so I can erase them after I read them. So that's really nice. So yes, that's pretty much all that is actually. Is that everything? I really hope that's everything, because if I missed a book, I'm gonna be so sad. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was informative for you. If you have read any of these books that I mentioned in this video, let me know down below and let me know what you thought about them. I feel like I should have said this in the beginning, but I have recently gotten a lot of new subscribers, so hello. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I will see you guys later. I hope you are having a beautiful day or night wherever you are, and I hope you are finding joy in whatever way it is that you can. I will see you later. I love you. Bye.